let's start with maybe the biggest question there is. Who are you? I mean, really. For literally thousands of years, this question has sent people on a journey inward to find the answer. Today, we're going to follow that very same path, using a kind of map left for us in ancient Hindu texts to explore what the self truly is.
So let's make this personal for a second. When you think about who you are, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it your name, your job, maybe who you are to your family? Well, these ancient texts, they suggest that this everyday identity, the person we think we are, that's really just the tip of the iceberg.
To get to the bottom of this, we first have to look at the world around us. The Chandogya Upanishad introduces this really mind-bending idea that the entire universe we experience, in all its incredible variety, is just a world of names and forms. It looks like a bazillion separate things, but underneath it all, there's just one single unified reality.
Now, to explain a concept that huge, the texts use a really simple, beautiful metaphor. Picture a potter with a lump of clay. From that one lump, they can make a pot, a bowl, a plate, all sorts of things. We give them different names, right? They have different uses. But what are they really? What's their essential truth? Well, it's all just clay. The differences are just names and forms on the surface.
It's the exact same idea with gold. You can take one nugget and make it into a ring, a necklace, or a bracelet. They look different, we call them different things, but they're all fundamentally just gold. The ancient sages basically said the whole universe works like this. One essential stuff that just appears to be a countless number of different things.
And that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? If the whole universe is like a collection of clay pots, what is that underlying clay of the cosmos? The text suggests the answer isn't out there somewhere. It's within us. The entire investigation has to turn inward.
And this inward journey is captured perfectly in this incredible story about a seeker named Indra. This guy spent 101 years, you heard that right, 101 years as a student just to answer this one question. What is the true self? This was no weekend workshop. It was a systematic, lifelong quest.
And Indra didn't just take the first answer he was given. Think about this dedication. He spent 32 years looking into the idea that the self is the body, then another 32 years on the dream self, and another 32 years on the state of deep sleep. He had to systematically poke holes in every wrong idea before he was ready for the truth in his final 5 years. A full 101 years of just searching.
This method he used is actually a famous philosophical process. It's called neti neti, which literally means not this, not this. It's a journey of elimination. The idea is that you can't really point to the true self and say, there it is. Instead, you find it by peeling away everything it's not. You just keep discarding whatever is temporary and changing until the only thing left is what's permanent and real.
So first up, his teacher suggests the self is the physical body, the person you see in the mirror. But Indra thinks about it and comes back with a problem. He says, look, if the body is the self, then the self gets blind if the body's blind. It gets sick when the body gets sick, and it dies when the body dies. But the true self is supposed to be perfect and permanent. So, nope, it can't be the body. First layer, gone.
Okay, round 2. The teacher suggests the self is the one who dreams. But again, Indra goes away, thinks it through, and finds a flaw. The dream self isn't perfect either. In our dreams, we feel fear, we feel pain, we feel sorrow. We can be chased or hurt or cry. The true self is supposed to be free from all suffering, so the dream self can't be it either. Second layer peeled away.
So finally, the teacher points to the state of deep, dreamless sleep. I mean, in that state, there's no pain, no suffering. Seems promising, right? But Indra finds the deepest flaw of all. In deep sleep, there's no consciousness. You don't know I am. It's a total blank, like you don't even exist. The true self has to be pure consciousness itself, so this can't be it. The third and final false layer is discarded. So let's just recap the 3 states Indra rejected. When we're awake, we're conscious of the outside world, right? Physical stuff. In dreams, we're conscious of an internal, mental world. And in deep sleep, we're pretty much unconscious. The fatal flaw that Indra found was that none of these states last. We cycle through them every single day. The true self has to be something that's always there, through all of it. So, if the self is not the waking you, not the dreaming you, and not the you in deep sleep, what on earth is left? What is the one single thing that's present through all 3 of those states? The answer is the silent, unchanging witness. It's the pure consciousness that experiences waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, but is never ever changed by them.
And this is the final truth Indra learned after that 101-year quest. This is the Atman, the true self. It's described as this subtle essence inside us that is pure consciousness. It's timeless, it's changeless, and it's completely free from all the problems of the physical and mental worlds. It's the very core of who we are.
But hold on, because there's one more giant leap we have to take. So we've found the fundamental reality inside ourselves, the Atman. But how does this inner core relate to the fundamental reality of the entire universe? Remember the clay in the pots? What is the ultimate clay that makes up everything?
That ultimate reality is called Brahman. It's the one, single, indivisible substance that the entire cosmos comes from. It is the source of everything, the one being from which all other beings appear. It's the clay or the gold from our metaphors, the one single truth behind all the different names and forms. And this is where we get to probably the most famous, most powerful declaration in all of the Upanishads, Tat Tvam Asi. It simply means, that thou art. It is the profound, mind-blowing statement that the individual self, the Atman deep inside you, is one and the same as the ultimate reality of the universe, Brahman. That witness consciousness inside you is the same consciousness that underlies everything.
How can we even wrap our heads around that? While the Upanishads give us another beautiful metaphor. Imagine a bunch of different rivers. Each one has its own name, its own path, but they're all flowing to the ocean. Once they merge with the sea, where did the individual river go? It's gone. It became the ocean. In the exact same way, our individual spark of consciousness, the Atman, is ultimately one with the vast ocean of universal consciousness, Brahman.
So, what's the point of all this? How does realizing this actually change a person's life? Well, this realization leads to a state called Jivanmukti, which means being liberated while you're still alive. It's not something that happens after death. It's a complete shift in your perspective on life, suffering, and who you are, right here and now.
This knowledge creates this profound shift. You see, the average person feels bound, right? Our happiness is tied to how our body feels, to the ups and downs of the world. But the liberated sage is totally different. They're unaffected by whatever happens to the body, kind of like the empty space in a room. They move through the world without getting stuck to things, like the wind. And when the body finally dies, their consciousness just merges back into the universal whole, like a drop of water returning to the ocean.
Ultimately, what this all means is that the journey isn't about going somewhere else. It's an internal pilgrimage. The source of freedom, of feeling limitless, of immortality, it isn't in some holy land far away. It's right here, within your own consciousness. Discovering the Atman is the ultimate homecoming. And that leaves us with one last, really powerful question to sit with. If these ancient texts are right, if our true self is already perfect, already complete, already eternal, and one with the entire universe, then what are all our daily struggles and frantic searches really for? What is it we're all trying so hard to find, when the greatest treasure imaginable is already who we are?